In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do the split thread dubbing loop technique. For this technique you want to use a flat or a semi-flat fly tying thread. I'm going to be using some VVS 12-aught. UTC is another great thread to use for this technique. And to do it, all you do is you just take a bodkin and you just keep stabbing at the thread until you find the thread. The finer the thread, of course, the finer the needle that you need, or the more difficult it is to split the thread. But once you find it, you're just going to take your needle here. You're just going to open up the thread. I like to kind of try to get it in the middle of the thread. And all you're going to do is just open it up. Then you take your pinch of dubbing, you just insert it into the opening, then you can kind of slide it up and down. Then you're just going to take your bobbin and you're just going to spin it. And essentially what that is going to do, it's going to make the dubbing just close and collapse inside that loop and twist. And this technique is nice and easy to do. You don't have to get out a separate tool. It's also the best way to hide your thread in the dubbing. That's because the dubbing is actually bound to that thread and it completely hides the thread. Where sometimes if you just dub it on the thread the traditional way, you'll get little bands of thread that'll kind of shine through. Then once you have it all twisted, you can just start wrapping it. You can see there I'm kind of getting little segments with my dubbing. That is because it is really the best way to get a nice tight dubbing loop. Next technique I'm going to show you with the split thread dubbing technique is I'm going to show you how to use CDC. So the first thing you're going to do, of course, is just split your thread just like we did with the dubbing. Just open up that thread loop there. Then we're going to take our CDC feather, and I've stroked all the fibers back a little bit so that the fiber strands stick off the feather at a 90-degree angle. I'm just going to insert the entire feather into that loop. And I'm just going to pull that stem to as close as to the thread as I can get it. Then I'm going to take my Petitjean long loop scissors. I'm just going to pull down on the thread ever so slightly as I trim this feather away from the thread. Very carefully. I have the tip there, and I'm just going to pull the tip out of there. Then I'm just going to spin my thread so that these fibers get caught in the loop itself, just like we did with the dubbing. There we go. And once they're caught, we're ready to just start wrapping the CDC. And once I get it started, I'm just going to kind of lightly pull the fibers back with each wrap, just like you would normally wrap CDC. And this makes them swoop rearward on the fly. And that is essentially how you make a nice little buggy CDC collar. Get up here and zoom in for you. You can see there a nice buggy CDC collar. Pretty easy to do. You don't need another tool or anything to do this. You can simply just split your thread, insert the feather, and then trim it. I like to use these long loop CDC feathers or scissors because you can just trim them with one swipe. If you use a smaller scissor like this, you'll have to get in there and cut very evenly with a steady hand. It's much easier to do it with those large loop scissors. And that is how you use the split thread dubbing loop technique for both dubbing and CDC.